already gotten news that the next MCU movie is being set up to fail, or the trajectory for the success of the movie is going to be abysmal. When I watched the trailer for this, I already knew I didn't want to see it because I don't particularly care for Captain Marvel. The actress kind of did put me off, and I was like, you know what, I'm willing to look past it to see if I can enjoy the movie, but then her freaking character turned out to be as insufferable as she is. She was just not likable and not relatable in the least. And while the movie itself wasn't particularly the worst movie either, it was annoying. And the only reason I ever felt the need to watch it is because it directly tied in with the MCU arc. You know, because we needed to watch this movie to understand the coming movies. But now that that is over and the culmination of everything has come to a head, people are wondering, what is the point? Now there's nothing that really ties us into anything else. We already got Thanos. What else is there? People are sick and tired of it. Not to mention, Carol Danvers isn't really a well-known hero.
Who are you?
Now you have these three girls who were already unknown heroes. I've never heard of the other two, and I only know about Rambo because of WandaVision, which a lot of people didn't watch.
Can see it. And Kamala. Who's Kamala?
Hi.
She can turn.
And I don't know what it is about this broad. I'm sure she's lovely in real life, but for whatever reason, when I saw the trailer and I heard her voice and I saw her presentation and her freaking scream, I lost it.
Captain Rambo?
Kill the bitch.
I have never met a more annoying freaking character in my life, and I live with myself, so that's saying something. Oh my god! It's not funny, and it just ended up turning me off. Also, the wire work for the trailer just looks so cheesy. The colors pop, which is nice, but the wire work is just weird. You could tell at one point, like, what is that? You could tell she's on the strings. She doesn't even really hit the floor. She's still kind of up, and it's just really badly done. So all of these things, these three characters that no one barely knows, one of them being one that a lot of people despise, and one of them introduced in this trailer that's just so damn annoying, she makes it hard to even sit through the trailer. Hi. The only normal person out of this trio is Monica, and she's boring, and not a lot of people even know who she is. So I'm not surprised that this movie isn't gonna do well, because it doesn't really have anything really to offer. Like, it's a mess of three women characters. Great. Women that we barely know. Now, I don't know what they do to figure out what the box office numbers are going to be for the Marvels, like how do they project that, but I wouldn't be surprised given the track record of all the other recent movies that have come out from the MCU. Game Rant says, despite the fact that the release of this film should be a triumph for diversity and storytelling, don't know why they keep on saying that. I mean, diversity has been a thing for many, many years, so why is everyone pretending it's some new field that has just been discovered in storytelling and film? Anyway, the MCU hasn't done its best to ensure that this release goes smoothly and has essentially set the film up to fail before it's even out. Also, what doesn't help is the mess of a plot this movie seems to show through the trailer. It's just like a bunch of things that people ordinarily wouldn't care about. Trying to be Charlie's Angels with characters that are either dull, monotonous, or highly annoying. And as I said before, the worst marketing for me personally is the new girl. Now, maybe this would work well as a video game, people trying to harness their powers, and since their powers are all Freaky Friday switched around, it would be great. But you know what? As a movie, and especially with the track record of the MCU, I'm not interested in seeing this at all. Not even for free. And apparently nobody really has faith in it because they're saying it will have a lower opening than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which in my opinion wasn't even the worst movie I have seen, but it definitely sucked. I made a couple of videos talking about it on this channel, so you guys can go check that out. It's kind of a vent on why I really got annoyed with that movie and particular things about it that I absolutely could not stand and that they messed up on. Gamer Rant went on to say that while it's not surprising that the dwindling interest in the MCU is culminating with this film, it's unfortunate. The general public, as well as a lot of former Marvel fans, are starting to feel worn out on superhero movies, especially after the release of Avengers Endgame. The market is oversaturated, and the MCU in particular releases so many Disney Plus shows and movies per year that it makes it difficult to keep up. It also doesn't help that a lot of these releases don't feel as well made as earlier MCU entries, and most get fairly mediocre reviews and reaction from fans. Thank you. Oh my god, I'm not the only one who has noticed this. All you have to do is take a look at the older movies, the earlier phases in the MCU, and see how much better the CGI, the action scenes, the story, character development, pacing, and everything else was. People couldn't wait for the next MCU movie, and I actually, as someone who wasn't a fan of the MCU, found myself looking forward to these movies, and also being interested in all these characters that were being introduced to us that I've never even heard of. Now, when I hear of something of the MCU, I'm like, ugh, it's one of these movies again. I'm sick and tired of it. There's nothing of any substance. The old magic and passion that the earlier movies felt just seems to have been disintegrated with the newer movies, and not only that, I think what also doesn't help is that a lot of modern movies nowadays are being way too preachy and dividing the fans. People who ordinarily wouldn't agree on stances in the real world with each other would come together and share their affinity for something that is basically an escapism. Now it's all about which side are you on. If you're not on my side, you're automatically the enemy, and if you say anything badly about it, you as the audience member that's spending a lot of money and have been our support for all these years, you're evil. And like, if you don't like it, just don't watch it. So fans are actually listening, and they're like, okay, you don't want us here, we'll leave. And anything else you put out, we will not support. It's not like what they're putting out is of any substance anyway, and with the recession and people really feeling the deep hole and void in their pockets, they're gonna be more selective about what they choose to spend their money on.
Begging, and I mean literally begging for you to feel how hard any given day is. Now you know. Who's in the room with you when you're making those decisions? Is it the people you're going to impact? Stop for 1 second to ask why. You've got to do better, Senator. You've got to step up.
I don't give none of that.
And while certain scenes from these newer, modern versions of the MCU movies could be seen as insightful, they come off as very cheap, preachy, annoying, unnecessarily long, and just a weird placement in a movie that doesn't feel like it belongs there. While it would touch the few people, it ends up alienating the majority because you have most people wondering, what the hell am I watching? Whatever this is feels oddly personal and like it's not directed at me or is directed at me, and feels very out of place for what otherwise would have been decent pacing of a movie or show. People see that one too many times and they're like, okay, I get it. This is not a freaking movie. This is a college lecture. And trust me, as someone who had to sit through 4 hours a class, I don't want to go to my movies and sit through another lecture that is presented for 4 minutes from one of the characters that ordinarily wouldn't say something like that. Or in a movie or TV show that doesn't ordinarily have that feel about it. It's very peculiar and weird.
It is literally impossible to be a woman.
Hi.
So I think at this point people are just checking out, and it's not that maybe the movie isn't going to be great, I have no idea, but the interest to even find out is no longer there. If the majority of the movies from a company or the last 5 installments were utter disappointments, and now coupled with that you're required to watch the slew of TV shows that require a subscription because they directly tie into the movies that you don't want to see, why do you expect people to stick around? Now it's getting confusing because now they're required to watch TV shows to get the movies that are coming out next. Doctor Strange didn't help with that either. People were completely confused as to why Wanda turned into freaking Chucky the doll. Anyway, I'm not the least bit surprised that people are turned off by this, not to mention this trailer. But what do you guys think? Are you looking forward to watching the Marvels? Is it a movie that you guys in the future watched and you said, man, this is the best movie ever? And those who weren't interested in seeing it, who still have not, why? Thanks so much for watching. This has been Alteori. You ask, we answer.